What's up guys, AJ here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how the 75 hard can drastically change your real estate business. Right now some of you might be asking, what's the 75 hard? Those of you that know what the 75 hard is, you might be thinking, well, how does that relate to selling real estate? So for the benefit of everyone, let me explain exactly what the 75 hard is. So there's multiple components to it, but it's essentially a mental challenge. I've heard it described as the Ironman for the mind. You know, the Ironman is obviously one of the most strenuous workouts you could potentially ever want to do. And this is potentially one of the strenuous workouts you'd ever want to do for your mind. And as a side benefit, you may just get in the best shape of your life. So the biggest thing that most people think of it as, though, is probably more of a health challenge, a way to lose weight. Because one of the first things you need to do every single day for 75 hards is 2 workouts, 45 minutes each, and one needs to be outside. It's important that one's outside because that's the mental toughness part of it. If it's snowing outside, if it's raining outside, if it's windy and the rain's coming sideways like it does sometimes here where I live, because it's tropical, so we don't really have that cold weather. That's the part where it's like, man, I don't really want to get in the cold. I don't want the snow to be stinging my face. I don't want to get soaking wet. But you have to do at least one outside every single day. So that's kind of where some mental toughness starts to build. Number 2, you have to be on some sort of diet. Whatever diet you choose, it doesn't matter, but it has to be some kind of diet. I heard Andy Frisella saying he's the creator of the 75 hard. And if you ever check him out on social media, his content's great. However, he swears like crazy, and I don't really swear. So I listen to some of his stuff, but not all of it, because that much swearing kind of just annoys me a little bit more than anything. So full disclaimer, if you listen to Andy talking about the 75 hard on his podcast or his YouTube channel, make sure the kids aren't around because there's going to be a lot of F-bombs. But he's the real deal. I love his content. It's straight to the point, it's hard, and it's in your face, and I like it. I like his style. So the second part is following some kind of diet, and what Andy says, like not even a chocolate chip. Like you can't even have a chocolate chip if no sweets, which I think on anyone's diet, like you really can't have sweets. You can't have any cheat days. There's no cheat days. So even if you have one chocolate chip, you start back at day 1. It's that hardcore. No cheat days. No, oh, I'm going to have some chips tonight and tomorrow I'll get back on it. It's 75 days straight following your diet. No excuses. No,
oh, I'm going to, just take Sundays off.
It's no cheat days. It's no off days. It's 75 days straight or go back to day 1. Number 3 is reading 10 pages of a nonfiction or personal development book every single day. I love this part of the challenge because I feel like the world we're in today, there's podcasts, there's blogs, there's YouTube channels. Obviously, there's Netflix and all that stuff that is not very personal development focused. However, there's some great documentaries out there on like Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins, which are really cool. For the most part though, it's like podcasts is how you're going to get your content, YouTube, and blogs. Like those are ways you can learn. And books obviously are mainstay, and you got Audible, but I feel like there's so much more that you just retain, at least I do, I retain so much more when I read. However, it's so much easier to contain the Audible versions of these things because of time. We're driving, we're busy, we're working out, we're picking up the house, whatever, and we've lost reading books. And I love reading. I got tons of books, so many that I still haven't read, so many that I want to read again. I mean, I would go and read a book a week, if not a week, at least a book a month for years, for really the last probably 15 to 20 years of my life. And over the last couple of years, it's probably just been a handful of books that I've actually read, that I've listened to some podcasts and YouTube videos. I mean, I consume hours and hours of that stuff, all great content. But I do know for me, Audible, not a big fan of it. I love reading the book. I love having it in my hands. I love being able to highlight. I like Kindle. So reading 10 pages of a personal development book is really a great part of this mental toughness challenge that I love. Number 4, you have to drink a gallon of water a day. If you've ever tried to do that consistently, it's actually pretty hard. Not only are you running to the restroom a lot more often, it's just tough to think about having to drink that much water. I know for me sometimes if I'm not focused on my water intake, it'll be like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, wow, I had 1 glass of water. So just really being focused on your water intake from the beginning of the morning has always allowed me to consume so much more water. And that water just flushes out so many toxins. It gives you so much more energy. It does so many things that are going to benefit your health, that it's really essential, and everybody should be doing it. Maybe for some people because they're smaller in stature, maybe it's less water. However, for the 75 hard, it's 128 ounces. You got to get it in. Or you can start back at day 1 or quit. And number 5 is take a progress picture every single day. This does 2 things. The first thing is it just reminds yourself every single day of the little progressions that you're making. And it also might work at the very beginning, like, man, I really am out of shape. I notice for me personally, if I don't go to the gym for a long time, like 6 months or a year, and I'm kind of doing home workouts here or there and just kind of doing it sporadic and not really on it, when I get back into the gym like I have for the last 3 weeks and there's mirrors all around and I'm seeing myself work out, and I'm seeing how I look in my clothes, it motivates me even more to work out. And when you're at your house, you might not be looking in the mirror that much. You're definitely probably not taking a daily progress picture, and you might actually forget, or you're definitely not as aware of how your body's starting to transform in a negative way when you're not constantly taking progress pictures and working out at a gym. So I think the progress pictures really helps you see your progress, and also it's like it helps you see where you're at today and be like, man, I don't want that anymore. I want to change. I want to transform, and it creates some negative present in your mind to progress. And this is another thing that it does. You might see initial weight drop on a plan like this, or really any health plan that you might have done in the past. Then you kind of stagnate and you're like, oh, this isn't working anymore. And subconsciously, your mind starts to sabotage you because you're like, hey, you're eating healthy, you're working out, but your weight's not dropping. So if that's your only measurement of success, and when you see yourself just plateau on the scale, you're going to lose motivation. So the progress pictures, even though you're not seeing the scale change, you'll see a change in your body. You'll see more definition in your muscles. You'll see less body fat, less extra, flab here. And that part of it is really cool. And I didn't even think about that when I first looked at the program for the first time a few years ago. And now that I'm back into it again, I'm like, this is a really cool thing that I think is really going to benefit me on my journey to getting back into peak shape. Now, why should real estate agents do the 75 hard? Well, if it's not obvious to you yet, there's amazing benefits like creating new habits. That just drinking more water is going to give you more energy. Eating better is going to give you more energy. And as a high producing real estate agent, a high performer, you need energy, you need stamina. Burnout is so high in our industry. And if you really want to give this 100% and operate at your full capacity, your best self, you're going to need that energy. You don't want to be that parent that's burnt out at the end of the day from your work, that you can't even play with your children because you're so tired. You need this energy from just being healthy, and the diet that you're on, the water in conjunction with the exercise every day, is going to give you that much needed energy to be the best version of yourself, the top producing agent that you want to be. Confidence. If you look better and you feel better, it's just natural you're going to have more confidence. Well, how does confidence help a real estate agent? It's stuff you already know, but scripts, are you prospecting, are you lead generating? That's going to come out over the phone. When you meet with clients for the first time in person and you just finished a workout, you got your water on the front seat, you had a healthy lunch, and you're stepping out of the car to meet a buyer for the first time or go on that listing appointment, you're a different person. You're transformed. That energy is what attracts. The attraction happens when you're enthusiastic, and when you're attracting other people, that means more clients. It means repeat clients. It means if you're building a real estate team, it's more agents want to be part of your team because they're attracted to your energy. It's enthusiasm. Enthusiasm sells. People with the highest energy are typically the most successful. And it's not like crazy high energy, like bouncing off walls type of energy. It's an energy where, yeah, you are excited, you are positive, but you also have this certain presence. You're calm, you're confident. People want to follow. People want a good leader. And when your confidence is high, you're going to be a better leader. You're going to attract more clients. You're going to attract more agents to your team. So many benefits of having just this healthy lifestyle to increase your energy. Now, I have to be honest, I actually failed twice at the 75 hard already. It's hard. I started last year, I think it was January 7th, went 30 days. I mean, I was getting out of bed at night because I forgot to take the progress picture, and I would go take it, go back in bed. Like, I was all in 30 days. For some reason, I stopped. Lars Hedenborg hits me up like 2 months ago and was like, hey AJ, hey John, we run this organization inside eXp Realty called Game Changers. And he hit us up like, hey, you guys want to do this 75 hard? And my first reaction was like, I don't know. But in my gut, I knew I needed to, because my complacency has taken over in my health and in my fitness and really in my business. You know, sometimes good is the enemy of great, and my business has taken off beyond my wildest imagination over these last few years. 10x my original goal that I recently achieved this past January. And complacency can set in, and it happened to me. And when Lars proposed the challenge, I was like, man, I failed last year. I don't want to do it, but I do. So I wrestled with it for about a week or two. I brainstormed with my wife, Abby, about how could I make this happen? You know, my excuse was I got travel coming up. I've already been alcohol free for a while, so that wasn't an issue. That's the other one, no alcohol. So that's number 6, I almost forgot. So no alcohol, that might be a deal killer for some of you, and that's probably why you need to do it. If you're like, no alcohol, I'm out. This is probably why you need to do it, maybe just for that one point. But I was starting to think, okay, I'm gonna be traveling. I wanna eat at the good restaurants. I wanna be able to go snowboarding and not worry about all this added stress I'm gonna be putting on myself. And I got a snowboard trip coming up next week. So all these things were my excuses. So I brainstormed with Abby on how I could make it happen, and I came to a solution. I came to a solution of what my diet could look like, what could my exercise look like. And I decided I'm in. So I messaged John and Lars, and I said, hey guys, I'm out. I can't do it with you. I was like, I gotta start tomorrow. So I decided to start tomorrow. This was 3 weeks ago now. And what was so interesting about that is I wanted to start now because I had another event coming up, VCon, Gary V's conference, at the about the middle of May, and I want to be done before that. So that's my plan. And I went to work on it, and I was killing it. I was really doing good at it. And then I started to wrestle with myself. I started to think, oh, well, I can have a little bit of pasta here because it's not a dessert, because part of my diet is no desserts. I said I can have a little pasta here, and it had a little bit of Parmesan cheese sprinkled on. And part of my thing is also no dairy. So I can have no dairy, no dessert, no refined sugars. And, it's just a little bit of Parmesan cheese. So I thought, I'll just keep going the 75 hard. And then the rest of my group, the rest of my game changers, we're going to be starting today as I'm recording this, March 14th, sorry. And as they were getting close to it, I was like, man, I'm in my mind already making accommodations for myself, making 75 hard, 75 medium. And that's unacceptable, because you have to, at the end of the day, hold yourself accountable. Now we have a lot of people, part of our Game Changers Nation, doing it. I think there's 20 or 30 of us. And that's really great because you have community, you have accountability. Had I not had that this time, it would have been like last time. I would have quit after probably 21 days and not restarted. So I was going to just keep going, and nobody even knows this yet. I was just gonna keep going and be like, okay, well, I didn't have dairy, like I didn't have ice cream, I didn't have pizza, I didn't have any dessert, and I was just gonna keep going like that, making it 75 medium. And what I ultimately decided was that's not 75 hard. Like Andy Frisella says, not one chocolate chip. So I'm restarting today with the rest of the group. So I gotta let my friends know today that I'm restarting, and it will be an end date of May 28th, I think it is, May 27th. And it'll be after the conference, so I'm going to have to do 2-a-day workouts while at the conference. That's going to not be fun at all. It's called the 75 hard for a reason. It's about doing stuff that you're not comfortable with. If you want change in your life, you need to change something that you're doing. If you feel comfortable, it's because you're not growing, you're not changing. That's where I'm at with it. To get to the point where you willingly do things that are really hard is a challenge. And that's something that I've always prided myself on, is doing what others don't so I can have what others won't. And I've done that my whole life. And because I'm just at this new place in my life where I got an 18-month-old, business is amazing, like so good. And I can enjoy some of the comforts of life. Just got soft. I even joked around and I said I'm hashtag 75 soft. Like I didn't want to break through that comfort. I know I needed it though. I want to lose about 20 pounds. I want to put on some more muscle. I want more energy to be able to play with my son, to be able to serve my agents at the highest level. So I decided I'm in. We're doing it. So it's happening. If this is inspiring you, I'll have a link in the description to Andy Frisella's YouTube video where he talks about the 75 hard. Again, disclaimer on the swearing, but check it out. And if it's something you want to do it and post in the comments and let me know that you're doing it. I'd love to hear how it goes for you. I'd love to know that you're starting it. I'd love to know that you're finishing it. If this is something that you've done in the past, in the comments, give me some tips because I already know it's hard and I can't fail for a third time. And if there's anybody that you know that this might help, share the video with them and hit subscribe because this is the kind of content I produce, content that's going to help you grow your real estate business, content that's going to help you live a better life. And if you want the next video that will be dropping soon, then subscribe. And until next time, guys, the tagline to the 75 hard is take control of your life in 75 days. So if you feel like there's another level you want to achieve, if you feel like you've been a little complacent, if you feel like you're just not doing what you know you should be doing in your business, your health, your relationships, then take the 75 challenge.